Missouri voters could decide whether to restore abortion rights next November, and top Republicans are fighting over how to present that question on the ballot.
Missouri State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick says Attorney General Andrew Bailey is overstepping the powers of his office to mislead voters about the estimated cost of restoring abortion. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, has more on how this court battle could complicate the process. Mark.
Kelly and Mike, voters can't start signing petitions to even put this question on the ballot until after the Secretary of State signs off on the question. And that can get tied up in court. But before that debate can even start, two top Republicans are in court battling over the fiscal note first.
We are responsible for drafting a fiscal note statement and a fiscal note summary.
When Missouri voters see a question on their ballot asking to consider changes to the state constitution, it comes with a fiscal note from the state auditor, Scott Fitzpatrick, explaining any projected cost.
And we put that into a summary statement that is neither prejudicial or likely to create bias for or against the proposed initiative.
Fitzpatrick prepared a fiscal note for an abortion question, but was met with challenges from Attorney General Andrew Bailey, who pressured him to inflate the projected cost to $12.5 billion in lost Medicaid funding and untold amounts more in lost taxes or potential blowback from conservative groups who may decide to protest the decision. In a recent letter, Fitzpatrick wrote back, "I see no argument to be made that the state's $12.5 billion in annual Medicaid funding is at risk. Stating such in the fiscal note summary would be inaccurate, and to submit a fiscal note summary that I know contains inaccurate information would violate my duty as state auditor."
We're already weeks past the deadline of when this part of the process was supposed to be finished.
Democrats are growing anxious these court battles could compress the time they have to collect enough signatures to put the question on the ballot.
Republicans know if an honest question about the right to an abortion is on the ballot, it's very likely to pass in Missouri.
House Democrat Peter Meredith is considering a run for Secretary of State. He suggested the Republican in that office now might try to inject his own political opinion into the ballot question.
He's going to try and delay here, and he's going to try and put language on the ballot that tricks Missourians and puts some egregious things. That's putting their finger on the scale, too, to try and change the outcome with biased language.
The Attorney General's office declined an interview on this topic. Abortion rights advocates will have until next July to gather enough signatures to put this question on the ballot, but they can't even start gathering them until the courts wrap up all these conflicts over what that question should say.